Yeah. So obviously, I think Andy announced himself at the start, but it's Andreas Waltenspiel. He's the Managing Director at Waltenspiel Management Consulting. And we're going to talk very quickly about the priorities if you want to keep and win subscribers, or win and keep them. Now, Andreas worked in procurement at Premiere in Germany, which is now part of Sky, I believe. He was head of partnerships at Nagra, talking to all the telcos and pay TV operators, and he was director of business at Samsung, so he's got a good sort of rounded view on this. And so, I mean, what are the important things we have to think about, Andreas?
First of all, my mother calls me Andreas when she tells me off.
Okay.
So that's why I have Andy here. So listening to the various sessions this morning and this afternoon, I must say I was shocked by the one of Jack. Suddenly, it's all about making money. It's about profit. It's not just about subscriber numbers. I studied business, and I thought that's the right thing, but all these years, suddenly the focus is on profit. So if we look at some of the statistics we saw today, Maria showed a lot of great statistics. So according to that, the number one is Netflix. Well, are they the number one in profit? Questionable. And I saw Sky super relaxed this morning, and maybe because they have read this book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***CK. So it depends on the measure. Yeah? So do I measure on subscriber growth and on churn? So before I learned from Jack that profit is important, I would have thought, well, just make crazy offers. Slash the price by 90% and you will grow your subscribers like crazy. Same, if you want to win back the people that cancel, you just make them crazy offers. Unfortunately, that's what's happening. So I want to do a quick poll, and we just do it by raising the hand. So who of you is subscriber to one of the big telcos or pay TV operators? I'm not talking about the Netflix and Amazons right now. So who has a subscription? Hands up. Okay. Who of you is paying the standard price? Keep the hands up. Okay, very few. Ask your neighbors how they do it. Let's do the counter thing. So who has a Netflix, Amazon, Disney subscription? Who is paying standard price? So everybody in the SVOD players is not discounting, while the problem of the traditional telcos is you have been discounting and you have been educating your subscribers that they should cancel because then they get the better offer. So if that's what's happening, it's very difficult to be profitable in the long run. And we can talk, I think it was also Jack. Is Jack in the room here today, right now?
Jack Davison, you're
Jack Davison, yes, exactly. So
content session.
So he had his bingo chart. So when I talk to my telco friends, we talk about 5G and metaverse and car, entertainment and everything. So, and that's great. But I have my favorite question, and you might have heard it. And you might hear me ask Daniel Bravo tomorrow of Deutsche Telekom. Said, I give you $100 million. What do you do with it? And most of the time, they stop speaking about metaverse and 5G. They said, I would love to swap my legacy. Well, that's my legacy in devices, so set-top boxes. By the way, set-top box is not dead, as we heard, because I cannot run Netflix on my ST chipset 10-year-old devices. Whether it's my legacy distribution, my satellite or my terrestrial, or whether it's my legacy IT systems. So legacy is a huge problem, and making the offers to legacy customers is also a problem.
So, I mean, this whole session is called winning and keeping subscribers. Are you saying the subtext or the sub-line should be economically? So there's not enough to just go and get them. It's not enough even to keep them. It has to be profitable. I mean, do you think that the economics of TV over the last 10 years, or especially the last 3 years, has been a an anomaly, and we're going to see it shift back to something a bit more rational?
I think we saw it just in the talk of Tim. So we had some special effects. So at the first quarter, when we saw the announcement that 1.5 million subscribers lost in the UK, he said, okay, is this the end of the golden days, or is it just the end of COVID? So I think we saw some special effects, but yeah, the focus on, and we see it on stock prices, the focus on profitability should be there. And the problem of all these discounts, when people cancel, and they have learned with the telcos and the pay TV operators to cancel to get a better offer, that is very hard to overcome. And if you have new entrants, and in several markets now, talking about 5G, for example, the big incumbents are scared because they said, okay, these new players will come in, they have no legacy base, not in technology, not in subscribers, and they will make crazy offers. So that will happen. The question is just, should they do it? Or if somebody eats your lunch, maybe it's better you eat it yourself. It will be painful, but you probably have to make it.
Okay. And if we assume the economics is sane and or rational, what can pay TV operators or telcos in particular do to keep subscribers, win them, just in sort of, practical terms? Just run us through a few practical options that they can do.
I mean, we heard several options today. That the bundles definitely are something you need to do. Looking at TV only, not bundling it with broadband, not bundling it with other things will be very difficult. I think that's why Sky in the UK, for example, is doing a lot better than Sky in Germany, where there's no broadband offer by Sky. So bundling, for sure. Integrate, the super aggregator is the story and the theme everyone is following. So super aggregating, we heard today, aggregate everything, so any content, aggregate gaming, music, video, metaverse, everything. So when I have the discussion, so yeah, you want to be that, fine, but often I hear, but first I need to get my core business right. And then I can play with automotive, and then I can play with 5G, which is a problem in itself. How do I monetize 5G? So yeah, focus on the core. Make sure you're profitable there. Try a bit on the side. That's not my advice. That's what I hear from talking to several telco players. But maybe one step back, the industry has a problem, which is right now, and you mentioned it as well, Tim, fragmentation, the pendulum is swinging still in the wrong direction. We're not seeing a decrease in fragmentation. We heard about the other panel about search and discovery is super important, and that is the key differentiator in being a super aggregator, because if everybody aggregates everything, how do I differentiate? And that's not a technology problem, that's a content right problem. Somebody said it on the other panel, I think it was Rolf from Vodafone. So we need to, it's tough, talk with all these players to get the rights to deep link and to search and get the metadata. But that's what you need to do. But on the other hand, if I see right now that this is my content, I want to monetize it, and this is my data, and you don't get it, then it's not nice for the customer because I don't find it. I need to subscribe to 5, 6, 7 different things. And my old friends from Nagra will tell you that there's one fantastic super aggregator out there already, shockingly great content, shockingly great UI, and those are the pirates. They get all the content that you ever want, easily searchable, at a very low cost. So it is technically possible. It's not legal. Anyone ever tried a pirate service?
Nobody's allowed to put their hand up here.
Nobody, of course. Yeah, so that's a problem. It's maybe not painful enough for the telcos to really do something about it, but that's a danger. And if inflation is going up and I have to look for my money, then maybe that problem is going to get bigger.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're out of time, and we haven't got time for audience questions, but it's a very good point, that last one about the pirates as the sort of a really obvious competitor. And maybe we need a bit more thought into content.
So one last point, product. So it's all about UX, and I'm not talking about the design of your UI on the screen. is the user experience people have from A to Z with you. That's your call center, that's how I sign up and everything. And I personally believe the MVP, the minimum viable product that often is done, is so broken. So I want a maximum lovable product, and then you can keep and win your subscribers. There we go.
Great stuff. All right. Thank you very much, Andy.
Thank you, John.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.